Our vision for Stadia is simple. One place for all the ways we play. It's focused on gamers, inspired by developers, and amplified by YouTube creators.
That's cool.
Imagine you are watching games on YouTube and you discover the latest Assassin's Creed Odyssey trailer on Ubisoft's official channel.
People play
on
Ubisoft
YouTube.
games?
I am playing Far Cry 5 as we speak.
By simply clicking on that button, the player is brought
I'm a little behind the
directly
times.
into the game in a browser
But aren't we supposed to be
in
watching
less than
this,
5
you know,
seconds.
playing other
With
stuff?
Stadia, this waiting game will be a thing
I mean,
of the
I
past.
did start Division 2 recently,
Acceleration on that laptop
and I
whatsoever.
played like
And
3
the game
hours
is
of it.
running directly from our data center.
So they think they can actually stream within 5 seconds?
Instantaneous to move that same
I mean,
game
that sounds fantastic if they can get it up and running that quick.
here
I
on
mean,
Pixel 3 XL.
5 seconds versus I tried installing Division 2 and it took 20 hours
Yeah.
to get the game updated, installed all that shit.
To go from running on our PC to running on a tablet.
Wow.
And then finally, we then move seamlessly to the TV. So this TV is accessed using this.
So if I do it from a phone to the TV, what? I mean, there's got to be something on the screen. Is a button to switch?
USB controller.
That's how it
When
sounds.
playing Stadia on a laptop.
Because I can't
or
figure
PC.
out a real.
But of course, we will have our own controller.
My guess is that there will be like a button combination on the screen.
Because I would hate to see it just going like automatically pointing your phone, like it just because then you could just be walking by and automatically like scan by it and then it just switches.
Or yeah, you're playing on your phone and automatically just kicks the TV and you're like, well, I didn't mean to take the TV. I'm so sorry.
Is this like an Xbox PlayStation hybrid controller?
The Stadia controller identifies which screen
I don't know how I feel about it, honestly.
with your game session running in the cloud, ensuring the
So it's a
highest
Wi-Fi
possible
controlled.
and the best experience.
I mean, I love the sound of it.
The Stadia
Yeah.
controller features
That
two
part of it.
very important new buttons. The capture button is for sharing and saving your game experience back out to YouTube. The gamer can choose to share their experiences starting with a click of this button, and the second one is the Google
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like a toss-up. Like it makes life easier on us YouTubers, but also like
so they can get
I think
help from the
it
assistant,
definitely makes the
special
game,
game
it makes it easier to get into the YouTube game, for sure. Especially, I'm thinking like kids playing, you know, on their little tablet, and then they're like, hey, just look at this cool kill I got, and they can share it to all their friends really easy. I mean, I love the sound of that.
1,500 edge node locations around the globe. More edge nodes mean the compute resources are closer to players, which results in better performance.
Huh.
When Stadia launches, we will have increased performance significantly to support resolutions up to 4K at 60 frames per second with HDR and surround sound.
I think 4K
And in the future,
a neat thing to get to, but I think for streaming it's overkill.
especially to get to 8K, I'm really confused. I'm really curious on how the system's gonna be to handle it. And granted, YouTube itself has been able to handle stuff like 4K.
Oh yeah,
And-
it's 4K, 8K they've even been testing. So I'm not surprised.
As a developer, you're used to being forced to tone down your creative ambitions that are limited by the hardware. But our vision with Stadia is that the processing resources available will scale up to match your imagination. In this new generation, the data center is your
Okay.
platform.
Sure.
We've partnered with our friends at AMD to build a custom GPU. And here's how the graphical power of Stadia compares to the top four consoles in the market.
Incredible how
10.7 teraflops.
For some reason, I thought PlayStation had a higher than that.
Of the previous generation.
I knew Xbox was better, but
Yeah.
for some reason, I thought the PlayStation was a little higher.
And the Open Graphics API.
I think the regular PS4 and the original Xbox were like in the 2s and
We
3s.
have partnered with Unreal, who will be fully supporting the Stadia platform.
Nice.
We're also partnering with Unity to bring full support for the two most popular and familiar game engines to our development community.
Huh?
So like 90% of games.
With an amazing array of familiar middleware that you already use to power your game development, including the most popular physics engine, Havoc.
That's not bad.
Hot, most.
Hi everyone. Thanks so much for having Phil and Maj. We couldn't be happier to be bringing Doom Eternal.
I don't know
to
enough
Stadia,
about Doom Eternal.
and are thrilled to announce that the game will be capable of running at true 4K resolution.
I think it's just the next Doom. I mean, I haven't kept up with it, but
60 frames per second.
So I'm impressed with it supposedly being able to pull this stuff off. And I mean, it's one thing when it comes to streaming like a movie, something like that. But when you're doing a game and having to stream and quickly control your character shifting and everything, I'm curious how that's going to go.
yeah, latency is definitely going to be
10.7 teraflop GPU.
definitely.
You can see the same content
Oh, wow.
running on Stadia using multiple GPUs.
Wow.
In this demo, we're highlighting
That
real-time
is
fluid
huge
definition.
difference.
On one GPU?
One of the most
Well, single GPU is a normal console, and multi-GPU would be...
Right.
Client and server are connected by the
But he said he could pull off the 10.7
multiplayer experience
on a
is
single.
limited by the client with the slowest or
That's why I'm
poorest
baffled.
quality
I'm like, how do you pull that off? That's an amazing GPU.
Of
course, there's a lot of things I don't really...
Well, okay, now are they going to charge to... Oh, here's your single GPU service versus multi-GPU. Like, is that going to be something we have to pay for?
Where innovations like distributed physics can be built into
And this sounds so much like what the Xbox was talking about with
hundreds of players today to thousands of players.
the game that just came out, the third,
New generation game platform, Stadia will, of course,
the game that flopped on Game Pass.
Developers will have the
Full
ability to enable
cross-platform.
cross-platform.
Well, capable, yeah.
Yeah, I just... From Sony's
Stadia not only
whole thing and trip. I mean, I see
Sony,
them.
quote unquote, says they have full cross-platform. Like, they allow it, but they've been the one holding everything back.
Yeah. And I've been really happy with how Xbox and Nintendo are playing nice.
Playing so nicely, yeah. I mean, there's a partnership that's going on behind the scenes that we don't know the extent of yet, which is interesting that if they have a competitor program on the Switch that allows you to take your gameplay on the go.
Right.
Stream Connect is just one of the ways Google is working to support developers in creating more immersive and creative experiences.
We've also been hearing rumors lately, too, about the Nintendo phone coming out.
Yeah.
We're making it possible to realize split-screen multiplayer without any performance penalty. Here we have two players,
That's cool.
one hunter on the ground.
I would love the couch co-op to come back.
I would, too. Even if it's not...
Each of these screens is powered by a separate Stadia instance.
Wow.
But what would happen to squad-based games if developers...
Because, yeah, kids these days don't really know the struggle in life we had with...
Well, and I like the idea, too, of, like, a single, like, it's not really split screen, but the split screens are just, like, it's showing just on your screen.
Right.
And you're the majority. Like, I love that idea. I hated split screen not being able to, like, have more of the screen.
Yeah.
But there they showed it just like that. I love that idea.
Style transfer is a machine learning technology that runs on the video frame created by the game. All of this happens in real time on a Stadia instance. We start with a gray box world and take any image we want. In this case, Kandinsky's yellow, red, blue, and the model does the rest.
Oh, that's cool.
Throw it starry
Oh.
night, and you
That's
have another style.
crazy.
Give it scratch art, and you get
So yeah, that's pretty cool for developers.
Doesn't
do anything for you and I, but it's still it's cool.
No, oh god.
With a new technology called State Share, developers can let a player instantly share a playable moment from a game. This could include the world state, the player's position, items they carry, anything the developer wants to pack into a shareable moment. Challenges to beat my incredible speed runs, or chances for other players to also experience those same tough boss battles.
Okay.
I can build as many shareable moments as I
Okay.
need, and let the internet turn my
I still see some. I mean, that would be great for certain games.
Can be encoded.
Yeah, it's definitely on a per game basis.
Yeah, I mean that definitely would not work for something like Mass Effect, something so big as that or something. I mean, even
Well, it could even be like, hey, what decision would you make? Resume my game, see what final you get. Like, that would work.
yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. I was just looking at was because it was showing like inventory and everything. Like, how could it actually be of that big
with Stadia and a new feature called Crowd Play, you'll be able to simply click a button displayed
I
right
mean,
on
it's basically just
and
take
jump in and
this
play
save
with
file,
YouTube
make a
creators.
very image
The
save
person
file,
watching
and let
will
somebody else
simply click
resume
the
it.
save and be placed into the lobby for the next game.
And of course,
YouTube creators want full management capabilities over this feature.
There is another Stadia
So,
integration with YouTube.
is it somewhat kind of
Really
like how
exciting.
Mixer has, where people can choose choose how the game goes?
I mean, that's the same idea, but that's taking it and letting them control the game instead of just making a decision.
Fire up YouTube.
And they were talking about beat my time on this part.
Yeah.
When the player gets stuck on a level, like me, instead of grabbing a laptop or a phone, they just need to push the button on the Stadia.
How do I beat this tomb? Here's the top result. YouTube video pop up. That is fantastic. How many times have I played a game and been like, shit, how do I beat this? Let's Google it. This literally just pops up a video for you, like right there in the game. Like, I like that.
I like the idea. I'm not a person who does that. I figure it out, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Stadia will be home to a variety of games.
I mean,
and we're happy to say
everything anymore is it's not for everybody. Like they're making it for a cliche or a niche.
Right.
Cliche, God.
Cliche works. I like it.
Today, we are
You're a
forming
cliche.
I am a
Stadia Games
cliche.
and Entertainment, which will build experiences designed exclusively for Stadia as Google's own first-party game studio.
You know,
Wow.
I'm excited
Their
to
own
announce
first party.
that
Yeah.
as
Some reason I didn't quite
Games
think
and
that.
Entertainment, I will not only be bringing first-party game studios to reimagine the new generation of games.
Our team
will also be working with external developers to make all of the bleeding-edge Google technology we've seen here today available to partner studios big and small.
With Stadia,
Our goal is to combine the world
I'm, kind of curious as to how easy it'll be for people to port to Stadia. Like,
Yeah.
Switch is a massive undertaking, but there are a lot of developers doing games to the Switch now. Is it going to be a lot easier for them to bring games to Stadia so we get a bigger library very early on? Because I'm gonna jump in and test this out. I guarantee day one I'm gonna try it. But I really want to see a library of games be in there for it.
Right.
Such a terrible name.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the name. Who knows? They may end up changing it at the end. I mean, we got the Nintendo Revolution.
Well, I think at this point, Revolution was never a, hey, here's our platform, this is what we're calling it, the Revolution. Like, that was just a code name. When it was rumored, that's what it was called.
That's true.
But now that, Project Stream, like, Google Stream would have been better than Stadia, in my opinion, if they really were wanting to go that route.
Yeah, I mean, they must have some sort of marketing team that thought it was a good name or something. But I mean, they had another something in the past that they changed the name to. I think it's called the Google Pixel or something now, or Pixie or something. It had a different name before.
Is the new name.
Yeah, and it had a different name before. So there's always a chance they may change it in the end. Maybe, hopefully, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Just stick with the name, even though we hate it. I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, they've got their fingers in so many pies, it's hard to say what's going to come of it, what they'll change down the road. Who knows if they'll eventually come out with a console. I mean, that's entirely possible. You never know.
What it comes down to in the end, to me, is if there was a name, a brand that could pull something like this off, it's definitely Google.
It is, yeah. Google is one of the biggest companies in the United States, in the world, honestly. There's very few companies I would trust to have enough knowledge, being that they do the YouTube, they do the streaming, and they already have massive... Oh, God, I got so big.
Yeah.
massive servers already existing.
Right. I don't know, and I'm also curious on how other platforms are going to play along with this.
Yeah,
especially PlayStation. How there may not be. Nintendo a little bit also into it.
I don't know. I feel like this branch of Nintendo hiring another company to do their online network, like they didn't do that in-house this time around,
right?
Like they did with the Wii U. They have partnered more and more with Microsoft here lately. I mean, you've got Xbox Live is going to work potentially. You see so many Xbox games, like they just announced Cuphead is going to be playable on the Switch.
Yeah, I am so excited to see all these Xbox games on the Switch.
Oh, coming to the Switch, and there's still
Gears of War I want to see on it because they've already talked about
Halo, Gears of War, like those would be crazy on the Switch. But if they'd even be playable, honestly, without having to downgrade them severely. But in the Nindies, they did show off a lot of.
Well, I think a lot more 360 games can pull it off. Maybe not Xbox One.
Yeah. I mean, versions. You're going totally. I mean, they could even go something like the Halo Master Chief Collection. Just do all remakes.
Yeah.
And have them just specifically made for the Switch. But that's besides the point. We're going down Nintendo's route now.
We're on the wrong look here.
But I definitely see Google being able to partnership with those two companies a lot easier than PlayStation.
Right. PlayStation's kind of just had this superiority complex around on this time around, I think. Greatly deserved. They've kind of done a lot of the right moves.
A lot of right moves early on in the PlayStation 4, at least. Xbox had to take a lot of stuff back. When they were talking about doing all the network the way they did at the launch of Xbox One, and had to change all of that to where it was no longer an online only console.
Right.
That. And even this could potentially change. Like I was saying, they eventually may make a console just because they may have to.
Yeah.
In order to get more of the crowd, more of the pie.
Or something like the Steam Link box, at least.
Something like that. Yeah.
See.
I mean, they've got the Chromecast, so maybe just do something like Chromecast, but with a hard drive built into it, or something you could attach a hard drive to. So you could download it and still do that same gameplay streaming idea, but have more of the game installed.
And I definitely think if Google is going to do this sort of thing.
That's what I was trying to think of. I don't know why that game name was skipping my mind, but Crackdown just came out, and when that was initially launched, talked about years ago, they were talking about doing the cloud servers for the building destruction and all that stuff. If you don't remember that, man,
right?
That was a huge thing. I was excited for it.
Shoot, I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, if Google is going to get on this, it is the good time, because I know even Apple has talked about getting into some streaming services, so is Amazon.
Yeah.
So it is a really good time if Google's going to get on it.
Punch,
Yeah, it gives them a good chance. I mean, look at a lot of the reasons, like the 360 did as well as it did over the PlayStation. It jumped to it. I guess I can't say that all the time, because the Dreamcast jumped up before PlayStation ended up getting, beat up. I love the Dreamcast, though. I got one in the other room. We should do some episodes on Dreamcast games.
But I mean, every gaming service has. I mean, Nintendo hasn't really shown anything yet for a streaming service, but I can only imagine with Xbox being partnered with them, they've got something in the works.
Well, I mean, with their stuff of they're doing their NES classic games is kind of a streaming service.
Yeah, well, that's
and there's some good stuff on there. I mean, I would like to see some Super Nintendo games, some 64. Would be really cool.
But anyways, the supposedly Project X Cloud, or however they have it named, that Microsoft version of PlayStation Now, that is a streaming service supposedly that they're working on, and could be working on Nintendo's platform, like I was saying. And then PlayStation, of course, has been doing Now for a long time, and they've changed that up severely. Like it used to be, you paid for time.
Yeah, and it had a different name in the past. I can't remember. It had a weird name in the past. So it was like started with a G or something. But yeah, it was like...
Well, they bought a company. They bought... anyways, they paid millions of dollars for a company that they then enveloped into what became PlayStation Now. And as far as I know, from the whole time it's been available to the public, it's been PlayStation Now. But that service has changed severely, and I haven't used it in a long time.
PlayStation Now?
Yeah, I had beta access to it, and I tested it, and it seems fine. It wasn't the greatest, but I wasn't also on the best internet back in the day either. You know, I might have been like tops like 10 megs per second at that time, and
that's another concern is internet connection.
And it worked, but not great.
That's a concern I have with is live internet, because like here at the studio here, we got like a 200 megabit per second connection, so we can pull that sort of thing off here. But there's a lot of areas where they're only pulling something like 5 to 30, and will it be able to pull off a lot of these speeds? I can see it being able to like stream a video on those without a problem, but in a game I can see some struggles. Which if it is, it is. You know, it's something they kind of stated anyway. I am impressed by the whole being able to bypass the public internet just to get it straight to you.
I mean, that sounds fantastic.
Sounds like we're going to get a Google internet in no time.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a intranet or extranet or whatever they want to call it. But yeah, that's it sounds like that's entirely possible. I don't know if that will help in the instance of people that are less than 10 megs per second, if that'll even still make it possible. They were talking about doing 4K, I think, on 25 meg per second, which I think is completely unbelievable, but it's possible.
They may know something we don't. I mean, just from just a sign of history, that something like that has not been possible. If you can,
my Netflix connection, like watching Netflix in 1080 is 4.3, which you'd imagine you'd almost want to double that at least for gameplay, because the upload and download. But
my next concern in the game is, like we were saying during it, was to be able to jump into a certain part of the game. It's a cool idea. There's also the thought, like I have a lot memories of certain games like Chrono Trigger. I would love to just jump into a certain part of the game that I was like, man, I just want to play this one spot. I don't want to start over, get to that part, and then just give up. It's a cool idea, but again, how will my characters in the game be progressed? How does it match with that guy playing?
Well, I think that it's basically taking a quick save file, you know, and saving that on server side, like so they can easily access it. And then you have, it sounds like, freedom to just continue to use that link to resume or send at 100 different people and have them all challenge you. So, I mean, if you know there's a spot coming up in one of your favorite games, like you're saying Chrono Trigger, you know, let's make a save right here so that in 10 years time, if this game's still available, I can still go back to this spot and resume it. It was what it sounds like.
I want to fight Lavos.
I mean, it sounds like it's not far off from using a time code in a game. That's kind of what it sounds, or like on a YouTube video. Like that's kind of what it sounds like.
Well, and this is still early in development, so I can't complain too much.
I mean, early in development. They say it's supposed to come out this year. They haven't said when. You know, it's not like they've said 2 months down the road. I imagine we'll see more, possibly with the end of GDC right here around the corner, and then E3 is just a few months away now, 3-4 months away.
That's true. So what do you think about the controller?
It may be the Xbox elitist in me, but I'm not a fan of the lower sticks, just like the PlayStation.
This is like the best setup to me, is the Xbox setup. I like how being up higher and lower and stuff, it is better to me. I can deal with either one.
I mean, as far as the controller it goes, it looks like it's kind of more in that Nintendo Pro controller realm where it's a little beefier controller. It's not maybe the best form fit like the Xbox One. Xbox One is fantastic to just hold in your hand, especially the Elite controller. But it definitely looks like it's going to work better for my beefier hands where it's a little wider.
And having the built-in mic at the bottom might be a cool thing. Depends on the quality of the mic. It might help with a lot of people who can't afford a lot of this equipment for recording to be able to at least get their message out. This whole thing is really expensive to do. What a lot of us do. So if it's good enough to where you can at least hear somebody, I mean, give them a shot at least.
God,
they might be good people. They just can't afford the quality.
Well, and I guess I was thinking about this. You know, I don't know how it would work with wanting to put, like in the instance we're doing here now, we've got a program that we're running and putting our face on the screen. That wouldn't work unless you're able to easily download from YouTube so you can edit, put yourself in the game.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of people like the Game Grumps and everything, they get by without a camera.
Well, that's true. That's true. It depends on...
Not that we're comparing ourselves to them.
They're on camera plenty enough, though, with their other videos.
Yeah. I love that channel. They're a lot of the reason we started this one.
Yeah. But yeah, the crossplay, with crossplay especially,
if they can pull off the crossplay and get others on board, there's a part of me I could see Microsoft getting on board with it. They are trying different things to get their names back out there. I think they got a little maybe ahead of themselves with how well the 360 did, because the 360 did better than the PS3.
Well, yeah, that was PlayStation putting their money, you know, the thought that people were going to want to buy the $600 console, and then when they started behind, there was no catching up.
Right.
What, though, I was thinking is if they could partner with one of the other companies to have, like, the Microsoft and Windows 10 cross-play thing, cross-buy, where you get it on both.
Sure.
That would be a severe win for Google. Like, if say, you buy it on Xbox or PlayStation, and then you get a license to stream the game on Stadia.
Yeah. Because I don't see much of Nintendo allowing their stuff like Mario, Zelda on there. They're pretty
not.
solid holding on to theirs.
Yeah, they're exclusives, yeah.
Which they did learn a pretty big lesson about letting other people deal with them, and I'm okay with that. If they want to make their games to let it play on here, I'm okay with that too. Because, I mean, who doesn't love a good Mario?
Yeah, that's going to be a huge one. Where those exclusives lay is, of course, where people are going to win and die, obviously.
Yeah, I'm also really curious on this whole single GPU running at the 10.7 teraflops.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, if they're gonna charge more to have the multi-core GPUs, gameplay, you know,
to run it like a higher quality,
yeah, that's gonna be crazy to kind of
this seems definitely
get that message across the board.
This seems definitely it's going to be a monthly paying service.
It sounds more ideal, like, or
because paying
more realistic. Honestly.
Paying for data or something, that's an old way. I mean, look at cell phones. We did a lot of that and a lot more of that in the past. That was, you know, you want to add some more, it's going to cost this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Let's get away from that. Let's just do a monthly service fee. The question is,
are
like,
they
how
going
much?
the Game Pass route where it's just 100 games are available to you for paying this monthly subscription? I mean, that sounds
like a closer doable thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, are we going to talk in order to get the latest Call of Duty, you're going to have to be paying $40 a month? I mean, that sounds.
I think it's going to be higher than that. I'm thinking somewhere around $60 a month. It's going to be at least to pull this off.
So if you're someone that buys more than one game a year, this is going to be a killer option for you. You can jump in and play unlimited games. That'd be awesome.
But who also says it's going to jump with the newest too? It might have to be out for a while or something.
Well, if the subscription is the only way they're doing this, and they're not doing the PlayStation Now option of like, some games are on the subscription and then others you have to pay for, then
right.
You're not gonna win if Call of Duty is not there day one. Like, no one's gonna want to play on your platform if Call of Duty is not there day one.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of companies kind of wanting to stay back and just go like, maybe I don't want to jump on this, right? Kind of, you know, because looking as a rental service or something, I mean, there's a lot of videos through like the Redbox who sit there and they hold back because like certain videos you can't get for like 20 some days.
I forgot what we were saying. Oh, we were talking about the day one.
Yeah. So I do see some struggles with that. But again, who knows? This is really early into...
Yeah.
I mean, we've just basically just seen a small little bit of it. We don't know how much further. Hopefully we see something. Heck, maybe even at PAX.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to go to PAX this year, but I ended up agreeing to go to a Comic-Con instead. I'm sad.
Yeah. God, I'm just excited to see what comes of it. I mean, I like I said, I'm gonna jump in day one. We'll try it out.
I mean, of course, save files are going to be through a cloud server.
Absolutely,
I would like to see a hard save as well, just to have it just in case. I have seen many cloud servers fail on different things in the past where it's just a safety thing for me. I would like to just have like a physical one that's backed up to the cloud or something.
I just don't think that with how they're toting it as this easily pick up and go, change screens, because they're talking about like easily switch your TV, switch to the computer. I just don't think that that's going to be the route they go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they're talking about it having an app on phones that you do this through. So maybe in the app there is a save file.
Yeah, as long as
possible.
it's not,
and then it's also cloud saved.
Yeah, as long as it's not difficult to connect to a Wi-Fi with an app too.
Well, I would imagine it probably.
Well, people find ways to make life difficult on us.
I mean, I'm just looking at the other Google softwares. Like, I use Sheets for work all day, every day, and I constantly go between the work computer to my phone to...
Plus, you take shits.
I take shits.
You gotta take that at work.
Yeah.
You can't just do that at home.
I don't know what that has to do with Google software, but...
It's not good to... Why clean your own toilet when you have somebody clean your work one?
Yeah. It's going to be me cleaning the work one, but yeah.
You have a crappy job. Anyway... I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. At least at the moment, I do have some steadfast things to it. But again, we got too early of stuff to it, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm pre-order that controller as soon as I can because I really want to take advantage of that Wi-Fi connecting controller. That sounds awesome. If I can play on my phone at work, then
Pornhub compatible.
Oh man, you just VR porn right there with that controller.
Well, remember a couple of years ago they had in the news that the PS3 was like the largest system to connect to Pornhub, and that's actually interesting information to me. I guess
also had a web browser that was easier to use than the other ones.
That's
they
fair.
all had web browsers.
I think actually the Wii had the fastest. I think is what they said, but that thing was difficult to run on.
Yeah,
click, 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 click.
I know.
Click, and then you were off by a hair.
Keyboard, then that would have been a different story. But
hear us talking about Pornhub.
I know
we like you guys. Sponsor us. I want that ad right before every episode. This episode is sponsored by Pornhub.
Oh God, wouldn't that be the dream?
That's my dream.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So hopefully we'll see what happens to the next one. If you guys enjoy our content, please like, comment, subscribe. If you don't, I will punch Ephraim more.
Yeah. All right.